How about you? How about you, MC? Mike MC.
Yes, I thought it was fantastic. In fact, had a conversation with Rich on the way home on Friday, and we're going to do our ALC tomorrow during the team meeting.
Very good.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited about it.
Now, it's an ALC meeting. It's
Mhm.
not a team meeting. It's an ALC meeting. It's just that
Yes.
you have attendees. It's for some reason we've gotten away from the fact that the ALC meeting, everybody's supposed to come to it. It's
Yeah.
not this private meeting in a separate room. Everybody is supposed to come as a gallery. And when they see the top agents masterminding on
Mhm.
opportunities they have to grow their business, what happens with the gallery?
Yeah, it's motivational. When we did that faux ALC at the meeting, I was in the gallery, and it was great just to kind of sit back and have an opportunity to listen, to them talking about their goals and that sort of thing. I think it's going to be great for the gallery to hear all of those conversations.
Awesome. Now you got to be prepared. You've got to be prepared to have some of the, your market statistics and different things that
Mhm.
that's going on in your area to bring value and, find areas of opportunity for them to be able to grow their business or congratulate them on where you are succeeding from a market share perspective and things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Very good. Awesome. Well, we had some big congratulations to Ogla. Ogla, you won the Orpheus Award. I think you won, what did they call that particular award?
I think they named it
The Hat Award or something?
Impact Leadership Award. So I had the female version, and then Ken Posick had the
Ken Posick had it, but was it Heart? Didn't they describe it as something like 3 or 4 things?
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I know it's Impact Leadership, and then they had a whole
Impact Leadership. I know. So congratulations to you, Ken Posick, you and he both won the Impact Award at the Orpheus for Orlando. And then I'm not sure that everybody stayed towards the end because I know it was a long night, but Ken Posick won as the team.
yes.
And then the other thing is, I believe in one of our market centers, was it Lake Nona? I took her picture. Who was it? Heather or somebody won for one of your market centers? I sent it to Ray.
Elizabeth. It was Elizabeth from
Elizabeth. And what did
Oviedo.
Elizabeth win?
From Oviedo, the Heart Award.
Yeah. So we had some really good winners there. And so I was able to take pictures of everybody. So that was fun.
Thank you, Georgia. It was great seeing you in your paparazzi elements. You are
I was being the paparazzi that night. I was like,
but there was so many nominations from our company, which was really, really great. So thank you for being there and for the support. But we had so many, like on the groups, right? The teams and groups. We had Nick Lee, we had Posick, we had
Rick Brown, we had several people there. So these are like the Orlando Realtor. It's a magazine that they put out, and they call it the Orpheus. And there was probably about 600 people there. Yeah. So it was really good. All right. Well, a few updates that we want to provide to all of you, and then move forward. So first of all, how many of you were on the growth call today? The growth call today? A lot of good information. What did you get out of that growth call today?
I can go. The GPS business plan, the whole strategy with Brett Caldwell, that was so amazing. I literally started doing it while he was talking, and it was eye-opening how, number one, the prompts workway was really easy for us to be able to break down not just the GPS, but like a SWOT analysis, right, of where we are to get to that 25%. But I really like the way on the national calls, they're really taking time to break down things in a way that is easy for us to navigate. And yeah, I thought it was really powerful.
Yeah, 100%. So they're changing the format of the calls. So they're more what's the word, purposeful in some of the areas of opportunity that we have to move forward with growth and profitability and so forth. And since we're in our mode of getting ready to put all of our goals together, I thought that was a really, really important call. Interestingly enough, it kind of ran around the same thing that I brought up on the, at our Friday meeting with all of the team leaders, and we had the PCs and other people there as well from the market centers, some MCAs, which we talked about goals. And so we're in a point right now where it is time for us to finish the year strong and reach our goals, and at the same time prepare us for next year. So that's what I'm not going to go into great detail about that, but I do want to kind of direct us as to what we're going to do the last 4 months of the year. So we have September, October, November, December, and I kind of want to show you, and then you look at your third quarter. So let me show you first of all what I did for you, because I want to make sure that all of you are attending the growth call at noon, because they are changing it up and there is a lot of really great content. So let me show you what I did. Just first of all, let me take you to, oops, let me share my screen. That would help. First. So, you know, if you weren't on the growth call, you can always go back and listen to the growth call to get the, you know, to hear it and understand what we're talking about. But if you go to our leadership hub, you go to hot topics and you go to access growth tools. Down here, I put in, if I can find it, it's under financials. Sometimes, let's see, it should be here someplace. I put it in here for you guys. Oh, here it is. Multi-year trends, AI tools. I put it in here. So it's under, what did I say it was under?
Financials.
Multi-year trends, AI tools. Okay, we'll fix it up so it has a better title to it. But I wanted to make sure that you all had it. We put a link also in the call today, but I thought this was a better place to put it. So multi-year trends, AI tools. But I think what's important about this is when you go to this folder, they actually have the AI guidelines as how to upload your multi-year trends to AI, and then it'll come back and it'll, you know, help you sort through some of the information like they shared on the call today, how to build a GPS from it. There's information here as to how to hold a GPS workshop. First of all, what is GPS? Not you, Ogla, but what does GPS stand for? What does GPS stand for?
Goals, priorities, and strategies.
Yeah, goals, priorities, and strategies. That was Natasha. Thank you very much. Goals, priorities, and strategies. Okay. Your 411. So putting your GPS, preparing, you should start thinking now in preparing for your GPS. That's why we're finishing out the year strong, but then we want you to start thinking about what do you need to do now for next year. And if you're looking at your multi-year trends report, you can start seeing how you've been trending, and that's going to help you put your information together for next year. So I'm going to close this out, but now you know where that is located for you. Okay. I opened up in the meeting on Friday, I opened up with, I think, something that was kind of important. Who can tell me, and I'm not going to do a recap of what we did, but who can tell me what we opened up with? For team leaders to how to think about themselves.
Another thing I brought up today at the meeting was that reminding the whole group that, you know, we run a 66 agent, $300 million real estate team. And we have to remind ourselves of that when we have conversations with anyone on what we bring to the table.
Yeah, because sometimes, T.O., as a team leader, we think of ourselves, oh, I've never been a mega producer. I can't talk to a 10 or $15 million producer. I know you've done business in the past, but sometimes we don't think about ourselves in that capacity, right? But one of the things that we did by going to our multi-year trends report is I said, go to your multi-year trends report and what size team are you running? So if you were to all go to your multi-year trends report now, I think Jacksonville Beach said they're running $1 billion team. Okay. So if you're in leadership, whether you're an operating principal, a team leader, market center tech trainer, MCA, whatever whatever your role might be in the market center, you are leading in a capacity of being a leader of that market center. In some cases, a multi-million-dollar team, and you've got to think of yourself as such. So when you're having conversations with people, you just have a bunch of buyers agents and listing specialists working for you, right, T.O.? Absolutely. Now, the other thing we talked about is, and there's one thing I want you to think about this. There's one thing that needs to be done. I want to make sure I'm wording this the right way. There's one thing that needs to be done in order for the market center to succeed and get company dollar. What's the first thing that has to happen in order for the market center to get company dollar?
Growth.
Growth, yes. What
Write a
else?
Contract,
Say that, Rebecca?
write a contract.
Yes, write a contract. And then what has to happen to that contract, Rebecca?
It's got to
It-
close.
It closed. So what we opened up with at our meeting was, if we don't have agents that are listing and selling real estate closings, there is no market center, because there is no closings taking place, because then the contracts relate to company dollar coming in, and the company dollar coming in pays all the expenses. And when we keep all of our expenses in line, then we have profitability. So there was something that we do every year, is we put this GPS together, and they kind of alluded to it on the call, and they said, we put it together and then we never look at it again. Okay. And one of the things I talked about is, when you have your goal of closing 1,200 units, 2,000 units, 1,500 units, 2,400 units, whatever the number might be, you need to make sure that you're using your multi-year trends report to track, the specific categories, which should be, what we talk about in the language of real estate, the contracts written volume, contracts closed volume, listings taken, volume. All of those 8, none of this has gone away, guys. And I'm not sure that we're looking at those numbers, because if you have units closed and you're not tracking to units closed at the price point that you believed you were going to be selling them at, with the number of agents that are capped and not capped doing business, you will not hit that company dollar number. And therefore you will not have the profit that you deserve, and the profit share that we talked about was important. Now, Tia, I'm going to go back to you for a minute, because you have this challenge in your market center. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. But I said that we need to start talking about profit share more. And you asked me a question that I think I gave you a pretty good answer on. You said, well, what happens if you're not profitable?
Yeah, I had said that, when I was coming over, it was suggested to me that to not harp on the fact on profit share, because we're not profitable. But, after our meeting, after speaking with you and the group, we're going to run right into it and say, here's where we are, and what do we have to do to get profit? And we're going to gamify it and chart it and have a celebration to when we become profitable.
Exactly, because guys, it doesn't matter whether you're profitable or not profitable. If you're profitable, that's great. But you still need to be talking about it. Then you talk about, your profit and the profit share. And, one of the things we finished up with, you can't be a secret team leader, a secret market center about your profit share. We need to be talking about it all the time, because that's how we're changing people's lives, is through profit share. But yet I think we've quit talking about it, because not all of our market centers are as profitable as they could be. But how do we get profitable market centers? We get profitable market centers by bringing in agents that are doing contracts that are contributing to company dollar, that's paying our expenses and getting us to profitability. So we don't run from it, T.O. We move into it and we accept it and say, because this is how we become profitable. I don't know of a market center that launches on day one with profitability. It all has to come from growing and getting agents in the market center, and then doing contracts. And sometimes if we launch a market center, they're profitable in the first few months. in most cases, it takes 9 months or a year for market centers to become profitable. So it's like an agent's business, TO. Sometimes an agents will start their business and they may not be 100% profitable on day one, but as they move through their business, they become more profitable, right? So I don't think we hide from this. I think we embrace it, and then we figure out a way, how do we move forward with this? So I want to show you the multi-year trends report for the region, because I think this is really important that you all take a look at your multi-year trends reports, so you see where you need to be, and look at this, kind of like what they were talking about on the call today, and see how you're trending. So if we look back at 2022, that was our highest year that we had agents, pretty close to 7,100 agents in our region. Okay. And we've unfortunately been trending downward, which I believe we need to 100% correct. And with your help, working together as a team, we can make that happen. So if we look at our appointments, it's kind of interesting that if we look back here at 2000, even if we look at 2018, 2020, 2021, this is when we were having some of our biggest years. And look at our appointments, here, look at our appointments. Yet in 2023 and 24 and 25, our appointments are going down. We're not having enough appointments. And I don't know about you, Rebecca, I'm just going to call on you for a minute, not about this, but when you were an agent or had your team, was it okay not to have appointments? You're on mute. Go off mute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Was it okay not to have appointments?
Yeah, it's running your team. Like you ran a big team. So
We wouldn't make any money.
well, wait a minute. You didn't make any money if you didn't have appointments because you couldn't get any listings or buyer contracts written to be able to have a GCI, to be able to pay your expenses, and the agents made money and you made money, right?
Correct.
Is that kind of like a market center?
Exactly like a market center. I tell everybody, you know what, there are customers out there, those agents, and we're there to help them. And if they don't write contracts, we don't have a job.
Yes. Ben, I'm going to come to you for a minute because we have a market center where we had a team leader that, because her husband wanted to get his boat back in the water, Donna Ross decided to move to another market center, which we're very happy. So Ben moved into that role, and you realized you needed to get some appointments to be able to get some gross, right, Ben?
Yeah, if there's no appointments, you can't gross anything.
So what's happened when I want you to be totally truthful, because we had this conversation, because I want everybody to be totally truthful about this and not pretend like it's easy out there. What are you discovering?
It's hard to get appointments. So, it used to be a lot easier. You used to be able to work the license list, and that play just doesn't work these days. So we've got the license list, we've got events going on, we've got Facebook ads, we've got Instagram ads, and you have to pull out all the stops to hit your appointments.
So you had an event. What was the event in your market center the other day?
We did Orlando North, it was a designation for a listing designation. And I believe so it's a small market center, 105 people. They had 70 people attend. I believe 55 around there, don't quote me on it, were our agents. So 55% of the market center. And then we had 15 recruits. And I wrote down the numbers. So here's all the events we've done in Orlando North. So Ryan had 3 different events. He got from that event we just did last week, he's had 1 so far. From the Mega Camp invites, he's had 2 spinoff R2 appointments from that. And then he had a mortgage event. He had 3 spinoffs. So now he's going to be at 7 R2 appointments for this month, where we were trending about 1 a month from events. So yeah, that's working a lot. And then in Celebration, it's all the ads. It's Indeed, it's Facebook, and I think we're gross maybe 7 or 8 right now, and 2 are R2s for Celebration. So yeah, it's just a lot of work. I mean, I think the agents have to work 2-3 times harder. I think team leaders and OPs have to work 2-3 times harder.
Right. So guys, it may not be as easy as it was in 2021, 22, 23, but I believe I showed you on the call last week the report from the Florida Association of Realtors. And while there were some markets that were down, it's not that far off. There are still this pretty close to the same number of agents. It's not like 10,000 people got out of our business. It's like maybe 1,000. So I mean, it's very, very, very competitive to where it was the end of last year. So there's still the same amount of people in our market. Maybe the business isn't as thriving as it was, but yet I'm hearing that the people that are doing business are having some of their best years. So the bottom line is, I do believe there's people out there. I do believe we can get appointments. We just have to try and work more diligently and maybe smarter. One of the things we talked about was, being more purposeful. Actually, at FSO, Jason was talking about, we have the 12 recruiting sources, and they said, if find out what you want to focus on. Do you want to focus on land agents? Do you want to focus on commercial agents? Do you want to focus on luxury agents? Guys, I'm going to talk about this in a little bit, but if you're finding that there's a lot of agents that want to join us, but they're dual career, I hear this, well, they want to do dual career, they're not doing any business. You've got to have dual career training. You can't just bring in a dual career agent and not have training for it. So, or, part-time agent. And then we've got to set the expectation. So let's keep doing this and seeing, we were talking about appointments, gross agents, here again, when we were hitting our stride, we were getting about 300 gross, or 3,600, averaging 3,600 or 300 a month. And you can see here, it kind of starts to dwindle down a little bit. And then in 2024, it dwindled down. Now, again, look at this, 186 last month, 194, 188. Now, I will be honest with you. We've had some leadership changes in the region where we had 5 market centers. We just changed the OP there, where, we had there wasn't because we were going through a transfer, there wasn't a team leader in a couple of the market centers for a while. And we have been missing some team leaders, but you know what? We're getting those roles refilled up. So I expect that we would start hitting some of these numbers higher. But still, even though we had maybe 3 or 4 team leaders not in market centers, we can still do a better job of getting more growth. So, but what I want you to look at here is look at your own multi-year trends. Look at, even if you look here, if we're the first part of the year, we're hitting 300, 300, 300. And then you look in November and December, October, November, December, you see we start going down. Almost every year we start going down, right?
And a detour.
Well, what's going to happen this year? We've got to really focus. If we want to end this year strong, we've got to really focus on having more appointments the end of this year so we can finish strong. You can see here, look at this year. We didn't have 1 month where we did not have a good net. And then you can start to see here, it starts to dwindle down a little bit. We net 1,056, then we were 46, 400, 153, then we were negative 692, and then so far we're negative 555. But I believe we can pull ourselves out of this. With your help, I believe we can pull ourselves out of this. So then I want you to look at closed units. In our biggest peak, we were at 48, 49,000, 54,000, 43, 36, 34. So you can start to see when our agent count begins to dip, then our unit count on top of the market starts to dip. So the more agents we have, the more units we can list and sell, and the more company dollar we can bring in, and the more profitability we can have for our OPs and for our profit sharing. So I want you to take a look at your multi-year trends. use the tools that I provided to you and see how you can maybe come up with a plan to finish this year strong, in addition to putting a GPS together for next year, to start thinking about what you're going to do for next year. So I wanted to share that information with you. Then the other thing I wanted to share with you is our new agent productivity. Oops, I think I put the wrong one in here. No, this is actually good because I'm going to take you through an exercise that I took the team leaders through at our event. I've done this multiple times, but I want to show you because I still believe there's time for you to finish this year strong. Now, who would like me to go to their new agent productivity report? It's not going to be anything bad. Rather than just using the one that's a B that shows up first, I just want to use somebody's, but I promise you it's not a bad thing. Whose can I use?
You can use Tallahassee's.
Okay, Tallahassee. Okay, very good. Let's go to Tallahassee. Oops, I know I can go over here and do this and oops. Oh, it didn't do it, Ashley. Ashley showed me a little trick, but sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't show up, Ashley. I know, sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't. All right. Was that Candace that said Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I can't find, there's this, my thing here. All right. Now I'm just going to use, again, this isn't a bad thing. This is a good thing. Okay. Let's look at your company dollar. So 120,000, pretty good. That's not bad, pretty good. $120,000 in the last 12 months. So that's pretty good. Here's what I want us to think about. And I want all of you to understand what this report looks like. It's kind of changed a little bit now that they put it over in Command. That I'm going to work with Donnie and whomever to see if we can get it fixed up to be this way. So first off, when you're looking at this report and it says 86, very good job, by the way, Candace. When it says 86, that means that in the last 12 months, there have been 86 agents recruited and stayed with the Market Center. Now, if I were to look at Candace's numbers, I think she averages about 8 to 10 a month. Would that be about right? Well, actually, it would be more than that. It would be like, it'd be more like 10 or 9. So let's say that Candace averages about 9 gross a month times 12 would be 108. I'm just making this up, Candace, but I think we're pretty close. 108. Now, if I see 86, that means out of 108, 22 have left the Market Center in the last 12 months. Now, maybe her number is 8 times 12. Maybe her number is 96 and only 10 have left. You guys have to figure that out. This number here represents the net number, not your net, but the net number of agents that you brought in the last 12 months and have left in the same 12 months. Everybody got that? Okay. It's not people that left and they had been with you 24 months ago. It's people that came and joined in the same 12-month period. So let's just assume that you brought in 108 and that you have 86 of those left. Okay. Good job, by the way. All right. Because actually, if you look at her numbers at 300, if you have 300 and we say that 3% are going to leave, that means that you probably have pretty close to 90 people. And I think you're tracking better than that. That could be attrition. And I think you're tracking better than that. So of the 108 people, if we were to get on average, and Candace, this doesn't need to be you, but I want somebody to yell it out to me. How many cappers do you think, if your goal was 108, how many of those 108 should be cappers? Somebody yell it out to me. Go off mute and yell it out.
25%.
25% of the 108?
Are you saying of the people we recruited?
The people we
Same.
recruited, so that's Rebecca. So Rebecca, in 1 year, what would you expect? How many cappers in 1 year would you expect the team leader recruits?
12 to 24.
All right, let's just use 12, okay? So 12 times 18 would be $216,000 in company dollar. All right, now, if you have teams or other agents that you bring in, do you think it's possible, team leaders, we did this exercise with everybody, that you could bring in 12 half cappers? That would mean a quarter capper, a new agent, somebody that you could get up to a half a cap. Do you think that's possible, team leaders?
Yes.
Okay, so that's if we were to take 12 times 18 is $216,000 and 12 times 9 is $108,000. Is it possible to bring in 12 quarter cappers, like people that contribute $4,500? That would be $54,000. So right there, 216 plus 108 plus 54. If we did that, guys, that would be $378,000 in company dollar that they would do in the first 12 months of being with you. I believe that's possible if we focus on that. Now, Candace has done a really good job. I'm just saying, I think there's so much more opportunity that all of you could be producing. That would be $378,000 of company dollar if we brought on 12 cappers, if we brought on 12 half cappers, and if we brought on 12 quarter cappers. So out of Candace's 108 minus 36, that would leave 72 other agents that you're bringing in. And if you got 50% of them or 36 to produce, maybe even just a quarter cap, so 36 times 4,500, that's another $162,000. 378 plus 162, 540. That would be $540,000 of new company dollar brought into the market center, which would get the majority of our market centers either more profitable or the ones that are having some challenges with profitability into a profitability opportunity. And it would, if we could really start focusing on this by the end of the year, by now, so by the end of the year, we could get some of this company dollar rolling in, and it would set you up for next year 100%. And we could start getting some more gross. So I wanted to share that with you because this is what I see. Let me take you back over here to reports. Oh, here it is. Let me show you what actually happens. So this is all of the market centers, and for the last 12 months. Now, St. John's, really good job. St. John's is a launching market center, and they are our #1 market center right now with the last 12 months company dollar, primarily because everything is new to them. Everybody that's come over is tracking. But I think this gives a really, really good idea. When you bring in a lot of agents in your first year, you can see what that does for your company dollar. Then if you look at Tallahassee, they're at 120,000. Lake Nona is at 118,000. Winter Park is at 113,000. Venice is at 106, 96, and so forth, okay? But you can kind of start to go down, and you can kind of see that you can kind of tell where the recruiting opportunities might be, because if we were, does anybody dispute with me that if you were to bring in 12 cappers, that would bring in $216,000 of company dollar? Give me some conversations on this. I'm curious what your thoughts are. Just go off mute and let's talk about it.
Georgia, can you repeat the question again?
Sure. Does anybody believe, do you agree with me that if we were to bring in 12 cappers, that would equate to $216,000 of company dollar?
Absolutely.
Okay. So would you believe that if we were doing all of that, or if we brought in 12 half cappers, that would equate to 108,000, or if we brought in 12 quarter cappers, it would equate to 54,000. If we were doing that, would we be seeing these numbers here a little bit higher?
Yes, we would.
Okay. So what we need to do is help you figure out what we can do as the region, myself, Ben, networking with other team leaders, what we can do to help you be able to have more appointments with some of these agents, that we can help you bring in more producing people, or what we could do to help you get more people into productivity. Because again, if we're bringing in agents, I don't know, 5 or 6 agents a month, are we getting them to training? Are they not showing up? I would love to kind of mastermind with some of these things to find out. I'll just stay quiet with all of you on the call. What is it that we can do as a team to help support you from a productivity perspective, from a recruiting perspective? What we might need to do to help you all be able to retain your people and grow our market centers. What are some of the challenges that we're having out there?
Georgia, I think one of the things, and Omar and I were talking about it this morning, was the idea of telling our stories better. Making sure that we are explaining to people and giving them the awareness and the education of how our agents are actually experiencing success, and showcasing that. We've started doing something called an agent growth series, where I'm posting a photo and some metrics for each of the different agents that we're highlighting, and we're trying to get folks that have been here for a while and folks that haven't, that are new to us. And we're also doing a lot of agent testimonials where our agents themselves are speaking about, why they chose Keller Williams and Keller Williams Island Life specifically, and getting those out across social media. And we're already getting between the ones that we've done so far, a couple thousand views on that. And so I feel like one of the things that we can do a better job of is just getting our story out there and showing the value, both in numbers with the graphics that we're putting out, as well as those videos that we're sharing.
I love that idea. So you're basically, I'm going to call it kind of testimonials. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it is. And it's specifically speaking to how they have either improved their business, how has the technology that we have specific to Keller Williams changed the way that they do business. We've had some of our agents talk about the smart plans. We've had them talk about, Command being a CRM that's given to us, so they're not having to pay extra for that. Now with the Canva. So there's different things that we're asking them. What specifically are you going to find here that you're not going to find at other brokerages? And it's always number one is leading with the culture, but it's those other things as well.
I'm glad you brought up Canva, because some of you had mentioned to us before, like, how is ours going to be different? Like, EXP is launching it, and they mentioned on I don't know if it was on this call or if it was on the RD call I was on today, but you know what, guys, EXP. First of all, I know Danielle is doing a really, really great job of we're leading it from the region, and we're having about, I don't know, somewhere it's between 50 to 100 or 100 plus people on our calls that we're doing. And thank you, because you're also having market center workshops that are attending the calls as well. So that's good. So not only are we getting good attendance, but we're also getting market center attendance. So that's great. First of all, they were talking about the fact that EXP does not have a local office. So by having Canva launch in your market center and having your leadership talk about it with your market center tech trainers, EXP and some of these other companies that are launching this don't have that. The second thing is we have 22,945 active users on Canva, which according to Canva, we are the *1 company with the #1 launch of all time they said this is the biggest launch they've had with people active users. There's 57,831 designs that have been created. 33,000 of those have been sent to other people. So I think some of these statistics are really, really important. And I love the fact, was that Natasha? I love the fact that you were talking about that. And you know, again, are we keeping all of our tools and everything that we have going on a secret? The more that we can talk about everything that we're doing, the more activity and people see that we're making a difference. So I love that. What else? What else is going on out there? Ben talked about his training. You're talking about telling the story. What else is anybody doing?
So Georgia, I am finding a challenge with people answering the phone. So I did one thing. I changed my number. I know it's kind of crazy.
No, I think that was a great idea. Share that.
So since I had a Miami number and I'm now in Jacksonville, I decided to change my number. So when I'm calling out, people would answer the phone. And then the other thing that I'm doing, I actually met 4 new recruits today by just attending as many events. And I know we talked a little bit about it at the mastermind, and we've talked a lot about it in the past. Just going to different events to have them interact with me, and kind of doing kind of like a one-off small coaching session within little groups. And that's getting me more appointments. Like I have 4 follow-up appointments. So I can't count them as appointments because they weren't one-on-one appointments just yet, but I did book appointments from those meetings today.
What did we talk about on Friday about what recruiting is? I talked about, are you going out and seeing people? So first of all, congratulations. That's great. What else did we talk about?
We talked about actually going out to recruit, and I said that I was going to start visiting fire stations. My husband was not super happy about it, and I said it's only for recruiting purposes. But I thought that was a great idea, because in the past, I have led market centers where I have full-time firefighters, full-time police officers that are also doing full-time real estate businesses. And I thought that was great. So I was like, it just reminded me of that. So yes, definitely on my calendar.
And going to schools and going to the military,
Yep.
Teachers, that's really, really when we're getting into recruiting, right?
Absolutely. Brandy, that is a hilarious idea, by the way.
What did she say?
She said to create a KW firefighter calendar.
Well, you never know, right? So, so here's the thing. They talked about this.
Recording in progress.
They talked about this also, that if you're not talking to your people, somebody else is. If you're not talking to your people, somebody else is. I don't recall if this was on the call or if this was on the RD call. But I think this is on the RD call. But you know, we have the rookie books. How many of you have the rookie books? I brought to the meeting. Get the rookie books. If I was a productivity coach now, that would be the one and only book that I would be using to be able to train agents. I would just be using the Rookie Real Estate book. It's an amazing book. I would be getting that book for your non-producing agents and be setting up a mastermind where they're showing up every week. Are we calling our people to see if they're going to renew? Let's not be afraid of calling the people to see if they're going to renew. Let's know now and then see what we need to do to help them stay in the business. Okay. Here's the other thing. We talked about this in New York. They actually have a 200 agent indie that's going to be joining probably in the next 30 to 60 days. It took about 7 months to be able to tee it up, to be able to make the move happen. It operates like a teamerage model. So when I say I want to take away any limiting beliefs, What's a teamerage model? Who can explain to me what a teamerage model is?
It's
Okay.
Go.
want to rock paper scissors for it?
Somebody go.
It's essentially where the team is the brokerage. I mean, it's a broker level team, so the team is the broker is offering leads and accountability, and it's running like a team would run, but it's not a team within a brokerage. The brokerage is the team.
Right. You know, guys, back in the 50s and 60s, if you were not in real estate then, that's the way that most brokerages operated. When I got into real estate in the 70s, that's the majority of the way that the Forrest Olsons and all the different top real estate companies operated. And most of them were little independents, and then they became franchises after a while. But the broker would get the listings, and then he would hire the wife. I know this sounds kind of feminist, but they would hire executives' wives, prominent doctors' wives, and prominent people to be able to go out and sell the property until people got smart and said, well, wait a minute, I should be taking this listing. But it was definitely the brokerage had the listings and basically created the leads for the agent. There's a lot of little indies that operate that way now. That's just a millionaire real estate agent team. It's just an MREA team. Okay. This 200 agent office is coming over to Keller Williams because they see value in what we have, and they are putting together, they're keeping their MREA team together within the Keller Williams framework. Okay. There's value that we have. This came from a cold call from a team leader. That means a team leader called a 200 agent indie and got an appointment, and then through working with, you know, their OP and then probably the region and other things, they're able to convert this. So that's going to add 200 agents to that particular market center and to that particular region. Okay. Bob Lucido, who's a big agent in Pennsylvania, was never called by Keller Williams. Never. Guess who called him? Gary Keller. So guys, there's people out there all day long that want to be called. I want to challenge you that have you and do you continue to try to make calls to the 2,000, 3,000, 1,500, 1,000 people that you have in your territory or surrounding areas? I think we're calling the same 100 people or 50 people and getting hung up on. And I don't know, I might be wrong. But I'm going to challenge you to think about this a little bit differently and be calling people that maybe you haven't called, or connect with them in some way. Or like Marietta said, go out, meet them in an open house, start going out, you know, get out from behind your desk, go out and start talking to people, go out and start networking, go out and start attending open houses and previewing properties and see who you run into, and Women Council Realtors and MLS meetings or whatever events are going on out there in the world right now, Chamber of Commerce's and everything. Yes, Ryan. Ryan, you have your hand raised.
I'm sorry about that. I was just trying to unmute myself. Just on the note, and you just beat me to it, but one thing that I wanted to bring up that we were doing, a play that we're running, that we're just waiting for everything to come in Amazon, is we put together these little open house survival baggies with like a 5-hour energy drink in there and some breath mints and just like a variety of little things. And so one of the things that I'm going to be doing is, let me lower my hand, is looking on the MLS and looking at what open houses are going on during the day, and then just going out there and just meeting agents and giving them a little baggie with, you know, an opportunity to sit down one-on-one if they're interested in it. So I just thought, you just happened to mention that, but I wanted to bring that up before, but I thought that was a good play.
Ryan, you are so smart. Guys, you know, I tell people when I start the Team Leader Mastermind, there's a lot of stuff in here that I forget about. And then somebody will bring something up. It's like, oh my God, like, yes, we used to do that. So Ryan, 100%, and bring your MREA book with you to be able to hand out. Okay. So that's all, or the one thing book or something along those lines. But yes, I mean, you know, like you get the little peanut butter crackers, you can get an apple. It doesn't have to be expensive things, guys. Okay. It could be like a, you know, a little packet. But we used to take those, Ryan, to the new home builds, because when you go to the new home builds, I would tell the agents, I'm sorry, I would go too, but I would tell the agents to put together their little goodie bag and to go to the new home builds and take that in, because those new home real estate agents don't always have people coming to give them anything. They're usually working with clients or something. So I would say, as an agent, take them a little goodie basket and then sit there and have a conversation with them. That's how they got listings. That's how they got buyers that didn't want to buy those properties, because these agents that were sitting there doing, you know, new home construction, when the agent would go in with something and they had a client that wasn't going to buy from them, they would then give that lead to Connie Cruz was one a great example of that. She was our Rookie of the Year. She did such a great job of that when this agent, I don't remember, Tuesdays and Wednesdays had her day off, she had Connie Cruz, our Keller Williams agent, come in and sit in the sales office on her day off. And then Connie got the commission on selling those properties, or she picked up leads for people that weren't interested. Guys, there's all kinds of things that we need to think outside of the box and get creative on. So Ryan, 100%, I think that's a great idea. Even if you didn't take the goodie bag, go out there and walk the property, ask people about it, connect with them, talk to them about what's going on, give an MREA. If you don't want to have a book, give them the MREA postcard about the last podcast that happened, or something that might be relatable, or copy the page out of the 7 steps to an effective open house out of Shift Book and take that to them. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you guys can do to be able to connect with people. So I love that. Before we get off the call today, a couple of things I just want to remind you about. I'm going to send this out to you. I just want to make sure that this is correct. So scan it really quickly. Now, this is from your numbers from Friday. So these are not updated numbers that you put in today. If you're in yellow, I'm still missing your numbers, okay? But right now, you've promised us that we are going to have 1,100 appointments. Right now, we're at 21% of that. Or through Friday, we were at 21% of that, or 230. For your goal for September, I didn't push you on this. You guys just gave me the number. 272 gross, thank you. We're at 21% of that. For your net goal for September, you gave me 123, and we're at -1. So let's just look and see who our top market centers are for gross right now. It's New Tampa. I'm sorry, I did the wrong one. That was the goal. Sorry, Bo, wrong one. Celebration. Good job, Ben. His goal was 6. I'm good with that. They're at 8. Actually, their net was 2, and they're at 2. So good job. Winter Park, Andrew, you're at 50%. Let's see. Your goal was 10, and you're at 5 right now. It's 50%. Good job. Gainesville, if I were to do percentage, let's just do percentage, largest percentage. Winter Haven, look at that, Wayne. Your goal was 4, and you're at 3. I'd like to see that at 5, but you know what? I know you're making incremental steps, so I'll take it. Gainesville, Wiki, your goal was 7. You're at 5, so good job. Sarasota Metro, their goal was 5. They're at 3. Good job. Winter Park, your goal was 10. You're at 5, 50%. So that's great. I'm happy with that. Mandarin, look at that. Susan, goal was 7, and you're at 3. Inglewood 5. South Shore 5, and they don't have their goal was 5, and then they're at 2 and 2, and Daytona Beach is 2, and then you can see here the rest of the numbers. So these are the ones that are tracking, getting to at least 25%. We're at the 15th protocol. We should really be at about 50% here, okay? And then over here for net, let's take a look at our net and our largest. Gainesville, they've reached their goal. Good job, Wiki. Celebration reached their goal. And guys, I'm good with 2 or 3 net. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Jacksonville Mandarin, their goal was 3. They're at 2, so they're pretty much tracking where they need to track. You can see here where we've got plenty of opportunities, right? Now, what I'm working on, I'm going to be sending this out to you because I want to make sure all of your goals are correct. If you see any mistakes, let us know. But I'm working on this. I'm working on, but I made a mistake in a couple of numbers in inputting it into AI, so I've got to come back and correct it. But what I'm doing is taking a look at this because I want to be able to track your goals versus your actuals and be able to see and get these sent out to you guys every week. So I'm working on that as well. And then finally, the last thing, but it's not the least important, is we want to remind everybody about Founders Day that's coming up this 18th. You know, we had to move it from July, which was Gary's birthday, to September, just due to, you know, some things that were going on. You remember back in July, we had fires and all kinds of different stuff happening. So they moved it from July to September. I'm going to be honest with you, it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of everything going on. So I would appreciate it if you guys would really pay attention to this. We've got three or four more days to be able, and you know what, whether you do it on the 18th, let's try to do as much as you can on the 18th, but you know, let's just continue to try to move it forward. But you know, this is to celebrate Gary's birthday. For a $49 donation, you get the Success Accelerator bundle and some learning modules. For $100 donation, you get to be on the live stream with Quantum Leap with Gary on September 18th, in addition to the accelerator. So I think that would be amazing if you guys would get as many of your people to do that as possible. And then here, and Ashley, you sent this out to them or sending this out to them separate, right? That's correct. Okay. You actually are going to be getting this toolkit. So in here is the toolkit with anything that you want to be able to send out. I'm not going to go through everything, but there's a video, there's tools for agents, for your market center, what Founders Day is. So you have all of that information, as well as, whoops, I'm not sure if I can, I'm going to go back here. And then if we're going to send you just the link, so you can contribute just through the link. And here's the link right now. They're only at $92,000 at 23%. They really want to raise $400,000. The reason this is so important, guys, we have a lot of people, a lot of young adults that would love to have a grant from KW Next Gen to be able to, you know, move forward and learn. You know, our own Daniela was part of the QL and part of receiving a grant. And, you know, she learned through leadership. She was able to attend special sessions, and it helped her move forward with her opportunity. And now she's our regional tech trainer. And we have many other young adults who have received opportunities from KW Next Gen as well. So the money that we contribute all goes back to pour into our young adults. So this is really, really important. So I know everybody's got a lot of stuff going on, but if you would do as much as you can from a regional perspective to be able to raise money. Generally, we're one of the number 1 or 2 market centers that raise money for KW Next Gen. And I think it would be really great if we could pull this up and do whatever we can to help this. So appreciate you guys paying attention to this and doing whatever you can to increase our contributions. Ashley, anything else that we need to talk about today? You're sending all of this information out to them. Oh yeah. How many people do we have for Team 1? Okay, so we've gotten that up a little bit. I'm just going to quit sharing. We've gotten Team 1 up to 34 people. We have room for about 100. Okay. Again, who can tell me what Team 1 is all about? I want to see what you guys know Team 1 is about.
I'd say it's about when an agent is following the MREA and they're ready to build on their team and learn the MREA way, how to grow, and where they should start.
I think you're tracking correctly. Jean, why don't you tell everybody what excuse me, what Team One is going to be about? I think she did a pretty good job, but it's kind of fluff that up a little bit more.
I think she did a great job, but
Yeah.
what Team One is talking about the specific realities of a level one, which is a single agent, what they should be tracking and what they should be thinking about. Level two, the impact that has on the business, what you should be thinking about and tracking. And that includes the person and how you find them and what their job duties are and the job tasks are. And then level three, there's a discussion about level three because the point of level three is not to stay, but to go to level four where you get an agent. And every one of those steps, we're going to go over the personality profiles, the job descriptions, where to find these people, what the pay structure is, and all the possible issues that could arise. So it's ultimately about getting to one of the two goals in the Red Book, which is gross $1 million, net $1 million. And at our typical average income per sale, this is the path to gross $1 million for most all agents in Florida, if not more. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and Jean, if they don't want to gross $1 million, that's okay, but it's the same pathway to get there. Then it just becomes the number of people you have on your team, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But guys, here's the thing. If you want, and Ryan, I'll come back to you just here in a second. You cannot really be a great consultant to your agents or a great recruiter in your market center if you're not attending these kind of classes. Jason had me up on stage at FSO at the end, and he said, what do you think the one thing that you would tell team leaders to be great at their job? And I said, become a student of the company. And what I meant by becoming a student of the company is knowing all the tools and systems and models that we have. I've said it time after time after time. I could never do as great of a job as Jean Rivers does, but I know enough about what Jean talks about to be able to have a conversation with agents and be able to consult them to take their businesses to the next level. You don't have to have be $1 million, net $1 million to coach somebody to $1 million. But if you're not taking the class that Jean's teaching, it would be very difficult for you to be able to do that. I can do that. I can't do it because I did it. I can do it because I've attended enough of Jean's classes or Gary's classes or other people's teaching across the country that I know what it takes to make it happen. That's how we're going to change the dynamics of where we're going in this region. So again, I'm going to encourage you guys to, if you're a team leader, if you're a market center tech trainer, if you're a productivity coach, if you're in any role in the market center, your job, director of first impressions, your job is to be able to talk to the agents to help them get to wherever they want to go. And this class is the pathway to that. Right, Jean?
It sure is. You won't regret it. Send your people, come yourself. We still got seats open, baby.
That's right. All right, Ryan, what you want to say?
I just had a quick question. So I just met with someone today. They're a mega team. They have 26 agents. She's already doing 100 deals by herself. Like she's already clearing $1 million. And so they're very well established. Would that be an appropriate person to invite to Team One? Or is this more for people that are either running small teams or not running teams looking to build a team? Because they're already, like their systems are already totally dialed in and they're already rocking and rolling.
She has how many people?
26.
And she's doing how many units?
So I can't see her team's units, but her own units year to date are 85, just her. And so I would assume 150 to 200, but I can't see her team's.
Well, I'm guessing here, Ryan,
production.
but all my years of experience doing this and talking to lots of agents, she's probably making good money, but the gross profit margin of 40%, the 30, 30, 40, she's probably not anywhere near close to that because most of those people with lots of people are not making the right profit margin. And if you want to have a powerful big team, the way you do that is have a powerful small team first. So if she wants to really understand where her issues are, it would be in this course.
Okay, I do know that they don't buy any leads. It's 100% referral based, and all of her team, like the way they build it is that she teaches her team how to build a database and get their own business.
Right.
So I don't know her specific profit margin. I just
Ryan,
like
this class is for anybody. It doesn't matter whether they're making $1 million. You know, and I'm just going to interject here, Jane, because we don't know that she's doing it right or not right. And if we can help her fine tune, if you listen to that podcast called The Willy Wonka Guy, and the Willy Wonka guy thought he was doing everything really, really great and everything. And he was like doing 275 units, Gene. I don't know if you know the guy I'm talking about. And then he got in with Jordan Freed, and then Jordan, you know, follows our model, right? Jordan follows the MREA model. And this guy said, oh my God, like I realized I was doing everything wrong. So even though, guys, somebody might be, Gene, making the money, it doesn't mean they're doing it the right way, or they could be making a whole lot more money. Just like,
well, yeah, it's about efficiency and effectiveness. They're taking too much time and they're not making enough profit for what they're putting into it. The minute you told me that she has all of her agents do all their own lead generation, I automatically know that they're spending more time than they should, and she's not making the profit she should, Ryan. It doesn't mean she's not successful. I'm not saying she's not successful, but she could do it a lot better.
okay. I will I'll reach out and see if they'd like to attend.
yeah,
Sure, of course.
Ray Lopez.
Yeah, Georgia, I just wanted to throw some thanks your way for the Friday class. I talked to the OPs on the OP call. Really great class. I know multiple team leaders at the very end when we were wrapping up were wondering why more people weren't at your class. You throwing the mock ALC meeting was fantastic. I think a lot of leaders have never seen it done right. And I would put myself in that class. And I just wanted to say again, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you for attending, and congratulations to your new team leader. I see him there in the room with you.
There you go. I'm
Kevin,
excited to be here. He'll be at
welcome,
Gene's
Kevin.
class on Friday.
Awesome. 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 I'll see you guys there. Ogla, final words?
Final word. I want to give a plug to Gene Rivers. Every indie that we brought every year, I have fully leveraged Gene's classes. And Ryan, particularly to you, it's not really about what we think they are. Right now, we're about to go to business planning clinic. And as a team owner, Rainmaker, this is a great opportunity for them to just go attend the class and then come and assess their business plan for next year, because Gene does a very phenomenal job of really breaking down the numbers and the profits. And also, the other plug for Gene is, as a newer team leader, I did not know how to consult big teams, and I was a little bit intimidated at the beginning. But attending his classes, 9 times, I think, so far, I've been able to really understand how to speak the language of teams. And now that we are working on what is it that makes Keller Williams different, there's so many things that make Keller Williams different. Our company is the company for teams. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that our company, the MREA model, especially that org chart, is so important. All the models are important, but that org chart is for big thinking agents that want to really leverage that opportunity. So as any new team leader should be at that class, at least newer team leader. I know it gave me just better confidence in how to consult a Rainmaker that's looking to come over. And if you have an indie that's teetering right now, take them to that class. I'm telling you, Gene has an ability to just tip them over. And every single year, it never fails. Gene has done a phenomenal job helping us leverage what he's teaching.
100% Ogla. And guys, we're talking about these little indies that operate basically as a mega team. Just like Gene said, most of them are not making the money that they should make. So this is a great way to be able to inspire them to look at how much more money they might be leaving on the table. Gene, just as an average, what would you say a buyer's agent on a team, how many units should a buyer's agent on a team be closing?
Minimum of 36.
Okay.
Minimum.
100%. So 36 transactions times, let's just say this person that Ryan's talking about, he said 20, but let's just say 5 of them were staff, 15, they should be closing 540 transactions. I doubt that she's doing that. So sometimes
right.
these agents don't know what they don't know. At 540,000 transactions,
That's
that would
way
be
over net $1 million.
Yeah, she should be making 2 or 3 million.
Yep.
I mean, just quickly off the top of my head. Wiki,
Yeah, I
your
just want,
final words. Wiki,
Yeah,
Wiki, the final word from the call today. I couldn't think of a better person. Ogla was the first final word. You're gonna finish it out, Wiki.
well, following my girl Ogla is a hard act to follow, but I do want to jump on the Gene Rivers train and say the same thing. So many agents, I think one of the things that gives them confidence when they go to Team One with Gene Rivers or even Business Planning Clinic with Gene Rivers, everybody wants the autonomy of doing their own thing. And then we tell, you got to follow the model, you got to follow the model. Gene has a fantastic way of delivering that information so that they can recognize what is in the model and also similar to what they do. And then they can actually take ownership. Like, what is a buyer's agent worth to their team? And the other thing they all want to do is go, well, the model at 50-50 is this and that, and I want to give these agents 80-20. And then somebody pulls out a calculator, a pen, and a piece of paper and goes, okay, let's do some math. And Gene Rivers just has a way of loving them through it, not beating them up. And I just appreciate you, Gene, and the style that you've helped us with for so long.
Well, okay, Ogla and Wiki, I owe you both a drink next time I see you.
That's the fountain we drink from, my man.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's look at our multi-year trends report. Let's really look at our goal sheet, and let's knock it out of the park this month. Let's look at our multi-year trends so you can finish strong and move stronger into next year. And let's make it happen. Love you guys. Have a great week, everybody. See you in the region. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you Friday.
Bye. See you Friday.
Bye.